Today we're making cream of asparagus, and it's a good one. Well, hello, and welcome back to my kitchen. Today I'm going to be making cream of asparagus soup. Oh yeah, hey, asparagus, this is a really cool vegetable, all right? It tastes really good. They are filled with nutrition, and frankly, they make a really good soup. Thing of it is lately I have been, and I apologize for the latency in my videos, I've been kind of behind getting stuff out. I've been in the hospital, had to deal with some issues, still got some issues, and but we're working on it. Anyway, when I'm sick, when I'm not feeling right, I like to make soup. And I was remembering some of my favorites, and cream of asparagus, oh my goodness. It is so good. And I learned a long time ago, cream of asparagus can be bumped up too much, and that keeping it as simple as possible, as basic as possible, really produces one of the finest asparagus soups I've ever had. So I'm going to show you how I make asparagus soup. Very, very basic, simple ingredients here. Delicious stuff. And when it's done just right, you end up with a cream of asparagus soup that, well, trust me, you'll be making it again. Come over, let's look at this stuff and get started cutting. Come on. Today we're going to be using asparagus, of course. I've also got some Parmesan cheese, some broth here. Now you got your choice, vegetable or beef broth or chicken broth, but frankly, let's be honest. I'm going to use chicken. I recommend chicken or vegetable. You can use plain water, but I think broth is going to be better for you. Go broth. Heavy cream, all right? This is whipping cream. Don't beat around this. Get some good stuff. Salt, very simple. And make sure your asparagus is good and fresh, folks. It doesn't matter if they're little spears or big ones, but they need to be fresh, all right? And that's really the important thing here. Good stuff. Let's get busy cutting that up so we can cook it up. Oh, this is so delicious. Now, before I get into asparagus, if you've never handled this vegetable before, I'd hate to think that that's anybody's position, but I have to assume that there's got to be someone out there that's never seen one of these. Okay, this is generally a really cool vegetable. They're very tender, they cook quickly, but the lower portion is often very, very fibrous, okay? Now, if you're ever just going to cook these by themselves and you're not sure how much to cut off, the asparagus will actually tell you when you flex it, it'll snap right where it starts getting kind of fibery and woody. Okay, this would be the part if I were going to grill asparagus or whatever, I would cook this part and I would use this for soups and other items. In this case, I'm using all of it for soup, so I can use every bit of it, including this down here. Now, where it does get dry, let's go ahead. For the purpose of processing and doing good quality soup, let's at least cut that dry scab off, okay? And the rest of this, as far as your cuts go, on the lower part, you need really narrow cuts, okay? About 1/4 of an inch in length. Look at those. Now, the reason we're doing that in a really narrow cut, again, it's about the fiber in running through this. I want short fibers, and the pieces that are left over that don't get blended, I want those to be easy to chew, not to be something where you feel any fiber between your teeth at any point. So we kind of protect ourselves by processing this the right way. The next thing I want to do is to prepare the tips in a very special way. So what I'm going to be doing is to basically be removing all of the tips from my asparagus and then taking the upper part, that part right there, and I will be pan searing that separately, getting a nice caramelized surface on this and then adding it to the soup after the rest of it's been creamed. Gives it a great effect, fantastic flavor. Let's do all of the asparagus that exact same way, okay? Have at it. You know, when I'm working a dish like this and just hanging out in my kitchen, I just want to kind of relax. Nothing too difficult. Really can be quite relaxing to be in the kitchen like this. If you haven't learned that pleasure and that joy, you know, of relaxing in the kitchen, enjoying being in there, enjoying that creative flow, I feel bad for you. I really hope you can find it and embrace it, because I'll tell you folks, kitchen can be a very fun place to be. Plus, it's so rewarding. What you get from the kitchen is so good. So as you see, I'm cutting all of those pieces nice and short. Let me get the rest of these ends. I'm just removing the dry ends right now. The part that I won't be using in the soup. Salvage the rest of my tips. I think, you know, doing the tips like this, where you have them separate and you're pan searing those separate, and it adds that little extra fantastic element in the soup. Number one, you get this caramelized flavor going on down in there that you wouldn't have gotten otherwise. And then you get the appearance of that cooked tip. Really neat. So the processing's done. All I have to do is boil this. Now, once this comes to a boil, we're looking at about 10 to 15 minutes cooked, just until it's tender. After that, we blend it. These I'm going to be pan searing on the side right now. I'll get at that. Get some gas under here. I want to get this pan good and fiery hot. Okay, and the whole idea here is we're searing, okay? We're going to caramelize the outside of this asparagus. I need a lot of heat to do that with. So, this is how we do it. On the back burner, I have it on high, trying to get that broth heated up along with the asparagus, and as soon as that asparagus cooks and it's tender, we can start blending. Look at that. You know, there was this guy, a scientist sometime back, named Leidenfrost. He did experiments with heat, you know, putting water on heat. When you have a sufficiently hot surface, you put water on it, that water will bead up and just kind of dance around. It won't sizzle off because a vapor forms in between the water droplet and the pan itself. And so that's what they call that Leidenfrost effect. Now, if you're ever wondering, is my pan hot enough? How do I know if the pan's hot enough? Put a little water in there. Not a big deal. Now, what is our water doing? See that skating around and beating up? That's what we're talking about right there. That's the exact effect, okay? So if you've got that temperature, yeah, you got a pan that's hot enough to sear in, okay? And you'll get good caramelization that way. That's how you know. It's just that simple. See that? Very easy, right? All I have to do is get a little color on these, and then those are ready for the soup after it has been prepared. Okay? So this is just a little extra. It's a nice extra, and something you definitely might want to consider when you're setting up your bowls of soup. Also, when you're finished caramelizing these, if you want to set a few of the spears aside to use as a garnish over the top of the soup once it's bowled, that's a good idea too. So consider that as well. There we go. Now, you see we have a medium brown going on. Right there is where I can drop the heat to the pan. Any residual heat in the pan will finish doing any cooking that I want, okay? All I have to do is set that aside. It's finished. Just that simple. Turning off the heat here, that soup has cooked. I should say the asparagus is cooked. The soup is coming right along. Now, I don't want every bit of my asparagus down in this jar, but I want a good chunk of it, okay? Definitely the majority of it, but I want some bits in the bottom of the pan, all right? Now, I'm going to blend this until it's pureed smooth. Always cover a blender when running hot liquids, folks. Please remember. that's all there is to it. Right there. Right back in the pan. And there is our asparagus soup. Now, it's a matter of creaming and getting a few other items ready. Well, the blending has finished. Now, we had, of course, these pieces that we developed for flavor. So let's go ahead and get those down in that. I've set some tips aside. This is for the purpose of me just having something to garnish the top. And now we have that cream. Now right now I have the heat shut off on this burner. I just don't need it because I had enough residual heat in this. However, once my cream is in here, I'm going to check that temperature. And often, as you'll see me do, I'll pull out a chef's thermometer, put it right down in, see what I got going on. See, I got about 147 degrees. Really nice, okay? And that's a good temperature to start getting that cheese in there. This cheese we just generally want to gently melt in. So put in as much as you'd like. I'll usually use somewhere in the neighborhood of about a half a cup of fresh grated Parmesan. You don't want to try using that dry stuff. Okay, it just doesn't work in very well. If it's freshly grated, it will then melt into the cream that's within this soup, and it's going to combine with it and make this absolutely delicious extra. So here we have beautiful soup going on. And you know, I love a cream of soup, but I'm one of those that likes little bits of flavor in there too. That's the reason I like to leave a little of the vegetable behind instead of running all of it through the blender. As soon as my cheese is fully melted, that soup is ready to ladle up and enjoy. The quantity of everything that we used today started with this. You're going to need about a pound of asparagus or more, okay? You're going to need 1 quart of liquid, okay, and that'll be your stock, chicken stock or vegetable stock, and 1 cup of heavy cream to cream it with after it's blended. Some salt, about a half a teaspoon there, and on that Parmesan cheese, it's really up to you folks, but if you want, you can use up to about 3/4 of a cup of Parmesan cheese sprinkled in and melted down into this. Really, it adds a lot to the soup and brings a fullness to the flavor. This is great. Enjoy these, and if you'd like also a little sprinkling of paprika over that, or add in a little garlic powder to the mix, frankly, it really sets the soup up a little bit. Okay, so it's really nice. Give that a try. Let's get on. Take a look at this beautiful soup that we have made. Soup's made. This is the part that I really enjoy the most, getting to enjoy the soup once it's ready to go. Oh yeah. Definitely. That's what I'm talking about right there. Oh, that's good. All right, very basic, full, creamy asparagus flavor that just pops on it. That's good soup. Folks, please enjoy this recipe. It's a simple one, it's a fun one to make. You're gonna enjoy it when you try it, I guarantee it. Thank you for watching. Look right here, description box. You're gonna see those links to my website. That's where you get the recipes. Links to Texas Cooking Today. That's where you get more videos. And if you would, please take a look at other stuff I do. You're really gonna like the recipes, folks. My recipes, S.A.Trotter.com. They're 25 cents each, and they are written better than anything that you've ever seen. So if you would, watch this next little quick bit. It'll tell you about those recipes, and maybe you'll be interested. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe. Tell your friends about Texas Cooking Today. And if you've got suggestions, ideas, write them in down there. I'm listening, okay? Thank you for watching. Bye-bye. I wanted to mention to you my recipes. Yes, I sell my recipes. Okay, look, some people, they give the recipes out for free and they charge for the tutorial. So I do it the opposite on YouTube. You get the tutorial for free. I charge for the recipe. I did a lot of work, a lot of writing, a lot of extra stuff that goes with this, okay? Come over a little closer. Let me show you one of these up close so you really realize what you're getting. And then also, I'm offering one for free. We'll take a quick look at that right now. Come here. This is what I'm talking about right here. When I fill out a recipe, when I write one, I always bullet point all of the ingredients, okay? A simple one or a complex one. I, in addition, number the instructions, and often I'll give pictures with it. Now, not all of them are this well done, but this is what I'm going for on every single one from here on out. All of my new recipes you're going to see done this way. And on the end of the recipe, there's always a place for notes for yourself, okay? Right now, go to my website. You're going to get this one right here for free, okay? Cinnamon rolls. Enjoy that cinnamon rolls recipe and take a look at the others I have. They're really worth your time.